Welcome to Adventures in Black and White and my new series of tutorials. I hope you enjoy these as much as I do making them. They are topics that I think people might be interested in. Today's topic is going to be field management. Now that might sound a little bit boring, but I believe it's a really important thing that we all need to think about because it's much left out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you let me know, give me a like, give me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So this is my field setup. I'm really lucky that I have about an acre here, which is more than enough for a fatty native like Nickel. And how you manage your field is very much depends on what you've got and who you share it with, and also your land. So I have split this field into four. Let's see, the one he's in, the one next door, one at the top, and the one on the right. And what I do with him is we're now on 1 weekly rotations. So the grass gets 1 week on and then 3 weeks off. We're in drought at the moment, we have been for a long time, and it's also particularly hot, so the grass is struggling, and this has been proven to be the optimal grazing rate by horses for grass because they're very inefficient grazers. So Nickel's coming to the end of his week on this particular patch. As you can see, it's pretty grim, but the field over there, that's been rested for 3 weeks. The one on the back, which actually looks better than the one at the front, has been rested for 2, and the one over there has been rested for just 1 week. We'll have a look at them closer so you can see the difference. So just to give you an idea of the fences and how the grazing works from a different angle, which might help you out better, as you can see, Nickel is in the bit that's been grazed for a whole week. And excuse my wonky fence line, this field hasn't been grazed for 3 weeks. As you can see, the grass is much thicker, there's more of it, and it looks a lot healthier. That needs a rest, and that's literally had him on a week. So that's had 3 weeks rest, and then here, this has had 2 weeks rest, and you can still see the difference here where he's grazed the line, and that's had 1 week's rest. So that is pretty much on line with that. That's one of his muck areas, so he doesn't graze that bit, that's where he poos. Now we need to talk about poo picking, muck picking, whatever you want to call it. He produces about that much a day, and ideally that needs to come off the field every day. They say for the control of parasites that really muck should be off the field within 3 days of it being down. And obviously if we can control the parasites that are in the grass, that means we don't have to spend so much on worming him. So it is really important. I do mine every day, every other day at a push if I've been very busy, and those are the tools I use. I just use a little rake and a bin. Sometimes I would use a shavings fork. Anything thicker than that, wider than that, is just no good. But it's an essential part of all field maintenance, and it doesn't matter whether you're a DIY or on full livery, you need to find out how often it's being done if you're not doing it yourself, because not only does it cause him to have worms, it also ruins your pasture. Pasture that has muck left on it won't grow grass, it becomes burnt and it degrades. So it's not healthy to leave it on. Equally, chain harrowing paddocks to spread the poo around, that just spreads the worm problem. You got to get it off, whether you use this or a paddock sweeper. It takes hard work and it needs doing. Next up is water. Obviously you can't have a horse in a field without water, regardless of how wet you think the grass is. As we're in a situation where we all just look after ourselves, we have our own ways of putting water out. There's a standpipe up near the muck trailer, and we fill whatever containers that we think is suitable, and we put our water in our fields. It's really quite important to monitor your horse's water intake, and obviously he's on his own, so this is really good. I probably put his water in every other day. He drinks nearly all of that. If you've got a large group of horses, this just isn't feasible. So you need to have mains water, but then equally this needs to be cleaned out at least once a week. I know a lot of places that don't do that, but it's just disgusting. Birds fall in it and die, animals going there. It's just filthy to leave it. So what I use, I found at water containers, because we're on clay here, as you can see the ground is really rutted, and it's rock hard because we're clay, and in the winter it's bottomless. So water containers bounce about, fall over, get smashed, and this is what my Australians friends will call a bladder. So I got this for under a tenner on Amazon. I'll pop a link in on the video so you can see where I got it from, how much it was. And this is amazing. It holds 50 litres. It's so much easier to manoeuvre around. And I've got to now get it in there. Now, in theory, I usually hook the
So as you can see here,
and it goes in, and it's easy.
I didn't
who knows?
quite get
I'll
it
give it a
as
go
I
and see whether I
planned.
can get it on
Basically,
video.
they do supply a little rubber mat with it to stop that happening. But it doesn't matter. I didn't have it with me, and the bag was clean anyway. So
So now we're going to talk about fencing. In the UK, we mostly have either electric fencing or post and rail. Hi, Nickel. He says he wants to be on the video. I don't know, people have their opinions about it. I'm not too fussed. I've seen horrific injuries with both sorts of fencing, so to be fair, I cope with whatever I'm given. And actually, like, this horse is particularly frightened of electric fencing, and he won't go near it, although he will probably now press on that. And also, as you can see, so our outside fencing is 2, it's on wooden posts. What's really important is that this fence doesn't touch that wood. And I get so annoyed when people's connectors get broken and then they just wrap it around the wood, because this is connected to the mains, and then that means the whole lot doesn't work, which is not fair. Because little monkeys like him, he's frightened of the electric, but he learns pretty quick when the electric isn't on. And then he decides he will take it on. He will either jump it or go under it. But in general, he's pretty good. Seeing he's enjoying his water. Because he's so good, this is why I have single strand inside the field. If I had a new horse, I would probably put another strand on that. I've got double strands on the middle one because that's just what I did when I first put him in, because I didn't know how he'd react. So, you know, again, fencing is very much a personal choice. Often it's because it's so expensive, it's what you're given. And especially as a livery, like most of us are liveries, we don't all have our own places, and we don't all have post and rail. Post and rail is so expensive, and it's also very expensive and time consuming to maintain. But to be fair, all fencing is, but fencing is very important. Here we're straight out onto fields, so obviously they have to be kept in. But yeah, so if you are in charge of your horse's field, you need to check your fencing every week. And also make sure, if you've got electric, that it's all tight but not wrapped around wooden posts. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it. I know the subject's a bit dry, but there will be many more, much more exciting tutorials coming up soon. But that said, field management is very, very important. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you.